What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about Devin Leary's performance versus ECU. Let's talk about it. So, very disappointing. Devin Leary came in. Well, not just him, but his entire team, NC State, came in with a bunch of hype this past summer. Everyone's saying they could be the one to win the ACC. They've got the second most votes behind Clemson. Clemson had a very tough year last year with DJU being their quarterback. So people thought, okay, maybe Leary, who has some potential for an All-American style, All-American type of year, could potentially lead in NC State, who was ranked number 13, to a magical season. They had a bunch of injuries last year. They have a bunch of veterans. All those guys who were injured last year, most of those guys had returned. So they got a good veteran team with a great quarterback, and Leary will look at it to be a first-round quarterback. Now, be completely honest, I NFL dreams myself, so doing this YouTube stuff is cool, it's great, but I hate talking about players like I'm downing them. So to being honest. I NFL dreams. I never got there. He's gonna get there. Leary should get there, either practice squad or be drafted. But the first round projections that were placed on him this off season, this past off season, this past summer and spring, I think that's done for. His performance today versus ECU wasn't up to par. Him or the young man from Boston College, Djokovic, Djokovic, excuse me. Neither one of those guys performed pretty well. Neither one of those guys performed well. They were decent. They looked like an ACC quarterback that's not from a big program. Just to say that. A lot of people, and I'm a big Sean Hartman guy. And people are saying Leary's definitely better than Sean Hartman. I don't see it. I don't see it there. But yeah, the entire game, Leary he looked rattled, couldn't get into his spots, and he had time in certain moments, had time, had space, had room at certain moments. And don't get me wrong, certain moments he looked good. He did look good, great throw, great ball placement. But all in all, the way it looks, I don't think his stock can recover from this one bad game. And ECU is no walk in the park. They could have won this game. They should have won this game. The way it turned out, they missed two field goals at the very end, one to tie and one to win. And I myself am familiar with ECU. I was a prospect, as I said. I want to be in the NFL at one point in time. If you watch my past videos, I will throw in here and there. I was a decent college prospect. I was a no-star prospect. I didn't go to any camps, so I had no stars. But I had D1 offers, legit D1 offers. Back in 2014, I was invited to all the ECU home games by their head coach and their staff back in the day, back during that time period. Forgot his name, older black coach, McNeil, something like that. Because they signed my former high school teammate, who's a wide receiver, who's in the NFL for a little stretch here and there, but they were on my school pretty heavy, so they were scouting me heavy. They never offered me, never got that far, but I definitely was in ECU a whole lot. They paid for the tickets for the free games. I went to a bunch of games, talked to the coach a couple times, all that stuff. Never materialized to anything, but I was in ECU community a whole lot, and their home games is no joke. The community is no joke. They show up, they show out, they love their team, and they always have a pretty good, solid team. Nothing crazy, but they've had guys over the years, like my former teammate. They had Justin Hardy. They had a couple decent running backs and quarterbacks and players here and there. So, ECU is no slouch, and they definitely came to play today. First half, their quarterback looked kind of rattled, but second half, the ECU squad turned up, and Leary and the NC State team could not keep up. Their best player today, clearly on the offensive end, was clearly their running back. I forgot his name. Let me look his name up real quick. I have the stats in front of me, but Stats Free Sports, we don't use stats. There's no point. It all goes off the eye test. Their running back, come on, Sumo, what's his name? Excuse me for this pause. My internet is lagging pretty bad. Karngbaye. He was fantastic. He gave you a little bit of everything. He gave you speed, power, elusiveness, shiftiness, trucking. He gave you everything, and he was the key. And the thing that really put my made my judgment on Leary wasn't really the throws, the bad throws, the missed opportunities, nothing like that. It was the goal line situations. You know, the NC State Wolfpack, they had two goal line situations, and they didn't. I think they might have thrown the ball once. They had all four plays each drive, I believe. If not, maybe 3-on-1. I think he fumbled one time. One of the running backs fumbled. It was, I think it was Houston. Their running back last name in Houston, he fumbled once. I think on third down maybe. But the drive before that, they wouldn't throw the ball. They might have thrown it once in the red zone, down a while they're down there on the goal line, but every other play literally was a run. If I have an all American potential quarterback, first round, second round potential quarterback in Leary, the ball is in your hands at least half the time. If I got 8 plays, 7 plays, you're gonna get it at least 3 times to throw the ball and find a receiver, find a tight end open. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. So that was telling to me. I don't know if they trust him or not. I don't know, and then the thing is, if you can go with your running backs, cool, but it wasn't the sumo-karngbaye guy, excuse me for messing his name up. It was Houston. It was another guy. I'm like, bro, where's the guy that got you down there? He's the guy that got them down there to the red zone both times, both trips, and end up both times they didn't give him the ball down the stretch. They gave it to other people. So that was a strange thing to me, but they held on to win. ECU couldn't capitalize. They could have made a big statement. They could have made a really big, one of the best wins in school history. Couldn't get it done. Super, super close. But Leary definitely dropped in the charts to me. He's a normal guy. 4th round, 5th round pick. Same with some of these guys last year. Sam Howell, Malik Willis. To me, he's not as good as those guys. So Leary's going to be, a 4th, 5th round guy to me personally. He might get boosted up how strong this quarterback class is. He might go in the 3rd, maybe 3rd, late 3rd, early 4th. But to me, I say 4th to 6th. And I said, there's no personal shot. All due respect to him. He's gonna get somewhere I never got to. Don't get me to it. I'm not talking about the man personally. But just the way he's played, I never heard of him before this game, honestly. I went back and did my research. That's why he's the one I tuned in for. I had money on this game as well on NC State winning. But I also had money on other games, too, that I could have watched as more entertaining. And this game was good as well. But I definitely let me see what this kid's about. This young man's about. He's hyped up. I want to see him live while watching. I don't want to see no highlights, nothing like that. I want to see him live. I want to see him in-game, how he works out. And he didn't look too good. He didn't really show up versus ECU. But they get the win. They survive. They hang on. College is tough. College is tough, man. ECU has some weapons. Their quarterback played well. He was solid. I don't say well, but he was solid. Especially he played better down the stretch than he did in the first half. Have a couple receivers. Number 4, their hybrid tight end. He looked like he could be an NFL prospect. I think his name Jalen Johnson, wide receiver from ECU, looked pretty good. And their defense showed up when it was time to show up. So overall, entertaining game, great game, fun to watch. Came down to the wire. But NC State does hold on. But I think Leary's stock drops in a major way. So that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.